Hi, welcome to another video on the My Fragrance Journey channel. Another week, another list of brand new fragrance releases, right? So this is the second one for March. And yeah, this one I would title the niche list, like the niche fragrance releases. Lots of niche fragrances being released in the past week. And yeah, to kick off the list from the House of Amouge, from their Odyssey collection, Decision is the name of the fragrance, right? So Decision has bergamot, cardamom, pink pepper at the top, and then you've got those classic notes that they always have in their fragrances, the House of Amouge: frankincense, juniper berry, myrrh, and then the base you've got atlas, cedar, patchouli, vanilla, right? So it's another one of those, man, beast mode type of fragrance, smelling like a big boss, as you'd expect from the House of Amouage, right? And then the next one from one of my favorite niche houses, the House of Initio Prive, Parfums Prive, right? So, and this one is Power Self, right? So Power Self. The last release from the House of Initio was, what was it? Tobacco something, right? So it was a tobacco-y honey type of fragrance, very nice, right? So and then the notes here: ambrox, black pepper, cedarwood, magnolia, musk, and then osmanthus, white blossoms, and white rose. So very much a flowery ambroxany type of vibe here. These are always good, right? The House of Initio, Parfums Prive always, releases beast type of fragrances, very good fragrances. Yeah, and then from the House of Maison Magiela, from their replica line, it's Never Ending Summer. All right, so Never Ending Summer, top notes of apparel, bitter orange and pepper, and then the mid you've got cardamom, Earl Grey tea, and nutmeg, and then the base you've got cedarwood, patchouli, vetiver. So very much a fresh, spicy, herbally, flowery, woody. I have no idea what that would smell like, but very interesting note breakdown, because it seems like every layer seems to be a different, vibe on its own. But yeah, these niche fragrances always like to do their own thing, and it usually comes out quite well, right? And then the next one from the tried and tested legendary perfumer Mason Francis Kurkjian, and the name is, simply put, Kurky. So I think maybe that's his nickname. He sometimes, maybe they call him Kurky. I think that's it. That's his nickname, Kurky. Mason Francis Kurkjian. And then top notes: peach, raspberry, and then chewy candy, fruity notes, vanilla, white musk, right? So based on the top mid of that peach, raspberry, chewy candy, fruity notes, it has sweet, fruity, with a bit of vanilla and white musk, right? So very much a female leaning fragrances, if I were to sorry about that, if I were just to make a call on that, right? So yeah, from Macy's Francis Kurkjian, Kurky, right? I think that's what he's known as, maybe in the fragrance perfumer circles, right? They call him Kurky, right? And then the next one, from Acqua Di Parma, Buongiorno, right? Acqua Di Parma's Buongiorno. So basil, lemon, petitgrain, rosemary, and spearmint at the top, and then you've got mandarin orange leaf, provincial lavender, and then amber, cedar leaf, and white musk at the base, right? And that's Acqua Di Parma Buongiorno, right? And then two very much designer fragrances, not very niche, but from special collections. This one from the Hugo Boss The Collection. It's Exuberant Geranium, right? That's the name of the fragrance, Exuberant Geranium. Notes here: ambrox, basil, cedarwood, clary sage, cypriol, galbanum, geranium, pink pepper, right? So very flowery type of fragrance here, even though the bottle looks very dark and intimidating, but the notes talk about other things, right? So geranium, pink pepper, cypriol, cumin, so very spicy. You've got the amberfix there, so that blue type of scent DNA injected in there. So yeah, from the house of Hugo Boss, their collection line is Exuberant Geranium, right? And then the next one, last but not least on this list, from the house of Nikos, the sculpture line is Vague Dior, right? Vague Dior. And then top notes of almond, bergamot, cardamom, cherry, and cinnamon. And then iris, orange blossom, and then pausa, rose, pausa and rose. I don't know what pausa is, but yeah. It's one of those notes that I need to go research a bit, right? And then the base, you've got cocoa, musk, patchouli, and vanilla, right? So and that rounds up the list for this week. Common notes that I've seen here: lots of vanillas, lots of white musk. I've seen lots of pepper, pink pepper. Yeah, the works. So for some reason, yeah, those seem to be the prominent notes. But out of this whole list, I would be very excited about maybe sampling Power Self from Initio Parfums Prive. I think that's the one that sort of grabs me a little more than the others, right? I'm always fascinated by the type of fragrances that they release, right? Yeah, with that said, please like, subscribe. Till next time, peace.